After months of back and forth negotiations, Congress finally reaching a deal on a nearly $900 billion COVID-19 stimulus package. The bill will bring some much needed relief to many struggling Americans and keep the government open. Chris Pollone has more from Washington, D.C. on this bipartisan breakthrough.
Good morning, Sheba. After weeks of haggling, both houses of Congress are set to vote on a new coronavirus relief bill later today. If it passes, President Trump says he will sign it, meaning money could soon flow to people and businesses struggling to survive.
The Senate stands adjourned till noon tomorrow.
Negotiations went down to the wire, but today a new COVID relief bill could finally become law.
We've agreed to a package of nearly $900 billion. It is packed with targeted policies that help struggling Americans who've already waited entirely too long.
The deal will send $600 in direct payments to qualifying Americans, add $300 a week to unemployment checks, provide more loans to small businesses, and direct extra funds to distribute COVID vaccines across the country. There is also help for people struggling to pay their rent as well.
Our purpose has always been to crush the virus, to put money in the pockets of the American people, which we do in this legislation.
The bill does not provide liability protection from COVID-19 related lawsuits for businesses, universities, and healthcare centers, a Republican push, or extra money to state and local governments, a key want for Democrats. But Democrats see this agreement as a bridge to more relief once Joe Biden becomes president.
While this bill is far from perfect, nor is it the bill that we would pass if Democrats had a majority in the Senate, it is a strong shot in the arm to help American families weather the storm.
Both sides pointing fingers at each other, saying a deal could have been reached weeks ago. Emergency funding to keep the government open was set to run out last night at midnight, but both houses of Congress passed a one-day extension and President Trump signed it, meaning that lawmakers have just today to pass that COVID relief bill and get it sent to the White House. In Washington, Chris Pollone, NBC News.
Chris, thank you.